let's talk about Microsoft's E3 presentation. I went in with relatively low expectations, not really expecting much. Maybe kind of wondering if we were going to be getting some sort of Banjo-Kazooie reveal, whether that be a remake or a new game, but it didn't happen. I also wasn't really expecting it to happen either. Now, one thing I want to bring up and talk about right off the bat is Cyberpunk 2077. This was perhaps the most anticipated moment for me during the press coverage. I knew we were going to get some sort of trailer. After the 45-minute video clip that we got featuring the female protagonist, I was absolutely blown away. Well, this time they focused more on the male protagonist of V, the male version of V, and I was blown away at just how great this game looks. If this is actual in-game footage, it looks really, really good, and I can't wait to see what CD Projekt Red is going to be able to bring to the plate with this game. We also did get a release date, which surprised me, and this is April 16th, 2020. We also learned that Keanu Reeves himself is voicing a character in the game, as well as has his likeness in the game, and that they approached him about playing this character, which was pretty sweet. Needless to say, this trailer alone has me hyped for this game. This is definitely a game I will pick up day one when it comes out. It looks absolutely exciting, and I cannot wait to see more. Couple quick things out of the way. Bleeding Edge is Ninja Theory's new game. And we have the release of Ori and the Will of the Wisps coming February 20th, 2020. Wastelands 3 was announced with a trailer. That looks like a pretty sick game. Double Fine was purchased by Microsoft. So Tim Schafer's company, Double Fine, who's made such games as Psychonauts, Broken Age, Grim Fandango, they were bought out by Microsoft, which is pretty cool. Tim Schafer's company is kind of one of those game studios that does make a lot of hidden gems, and I'm really glad to see them get the backing from Microsoft to see what they can come up with. Speaking of Psychonauts and Double Fine, we got a brand new trailer for Psychonauts 2, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I loved the first game. It is one of those rare hidden gems that never got the love it deserved when it was first released, but it's kind of amassed a cult following over the years, and I'm glad to finally see it getting the sequel that it deserves. Dragon Ball Project Z is an action RPG that's being worked on. We got little glimpses of trailers and things like that, but nothing too groundbreaking or exciting. Nonetheless, it is something I'm probably going to keep my eye on as time goes by. One of the biggest surprises, I think, at E3 was the announcement that Phantasy Star Online 2 was going to be coming strictly on Xbox One and PC to the West. Somehow Microsoft was able to secure the rights to have that localized and working with Sega. I thought that was a pretty nice touch. Is this something that I might go in and play? I'm not 100% sure, but it is something that I might look into. I do remember playing Phantasy Star Online back in the day at a friend's house and having a little bit of fun with it, so it is something I may actually revisit, especially considering that it is free. It does sound like it's coming with all of the additional content that they've had, but I imagine to keep up the servers in some sorts, there's probably going to be some cosmetic microtransactions or something like that within the game. If any of you are familiar with how Phantasy Star Online 2 plays or have played that version online through the Japanese servers, let us know down below what it's like, what the microtransactions look like, because I'm very curious. And let's get into probably what was the most exciting moment of this E3 presentation for me, and this was the announcement of a brand new Tales game. I absolutely love the Tales franchise. Ever since I first picked up Tales of Xillia, I don't know why it took me so long to pick up a game in the Tales franchise, but I have fallen in love with the series. So, to see them announce a brand new Tales game was just exciting in of itself. But what surprised me more than anything was how visually stunning that this game looked. They kind of tend to look like games that you would see on the late PS2, early PlayStation 3 days, and they've never really expanded much outside of that, but Tales of Arise seems to be changing that formula, and it looks absolutely stunning. Just completely gorgeous. It really surprised me to see this actually happening, and we did to get announced that this is going to be coming in 2020. Whether or not that's 2020 in Japan or whether or not that's 2020 this year, it's hard to say, but there is that to look forward to, and we'll cover more information as Bandai Namco reveals more information on it. That wasn't the only thing that Bandai Namco had revealed. We had heard rumblings on the internet talking about a collaboration between From Software and George R.R. Martin, but I really dismissed it as people wishful thinking and wanting it to happen. Well, turns out that that was actually true. The game in question is Elden Ring, and it kind of looks like a mixture of a From Software game / Lord of the Rings style kind of game mixed in with George R.R. Martin's creative world and things like that. It looks really cool. I wanted to see more about it. We didn't get to see much with the gameplay. It was just kind of a little tease of kind of what to expect. But nonetheless, it is pretty cool to see From Software working with one of the best fantasy writers of our time. And I'm only more curious about what this game is actually going to be offering. And the last thing I'm going to touch upon is Microsoft did finally break the information on their brand new console, saying it is going to be coming out in holiday 2020. So we could probably expect the PlayStation 5 to follow suit and have some sort of reveal from that next year as well. But one of the games they did announce coming to the Xbox Scarlet, or whatever they're going to call it, was Halo Infinite. And it looked really cool. And I'm really curious to see what else that this game is going to be able to bring, what other releases they're going to have to show up for the new Xbox One, and just what it has in store. But I think those people who went in expecting something phenomenal from Xbox, I think they were setting themselves up for disappointment. What we got was an average show that showed off a lot of great third-party stuff, and I'm really excited to kind of get in and check out some of these games as they release. But Microsoft really is gearing up for their next generation. I think their next big E3 is going to be a huge push to try and power the holiday sales. And honestly, out of the consoles right now, I have to say the Xbox One is probably what I'm looking forward to most, just because they gathered up such a great amount of studios that have so many amazing IPs. So I want to see what they're able to bring to the table with next generation. But that is all I have for you guys with Microsoft's E3 conference. Again, it wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything grand, but it was there. Let's briefly talk about Bethesda's press conference as well. We got a reveal trailer for Shinji Mikami's brand new game called Ghostwire Tokyo. It looks like a cool concept. There were times in the trailer where I actually thought, am I looking at real people? It kind of transcended into that uncanny valley, really bringing Tokyo to life. It looked really cool. And from the looks of what we're seeing in the trailer, it does look like that they are disappearing. Something's clearly happening in Tokyo. And whatever it is, there's this threat that's making people disappear. It's a Shinji Mikami game. Very little information was actually known about it, but there is that to look forward to. If that is something that you were into, you liked Resident Evil, you played The Evil Within, Shinji Mikami is the father of the Resident Evil franchise, so he has a backing in survival horror games, and I'm curious to see what this game actually is going to turn out. And the last little bit of surprise that actually came out is going to harken back to the 90s kids who grew up with it, but they are bringing back id Software's Commander Keen. That took me for a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting to see Commander Keen ever be brought back. It was just a little teaser trailer, animated. Whether or not that's actually going to be the game in itself is hard to say. We didn't really see any gameplay of it, but it was exciting nonetheless. And we did get some footage for, in Microsoft's conference, Battletoads, and it looked absolutely awesome. I'm really glad that they took the more of a cartoony approach to it. I think that was a great art direction to take. Battletoads looks completely awesome, but that out of the way, guys, that's all we've got covering E3. There's quite a bit to get through. let me know down below what you guys are most excited looking forward to. If I had to pick 3 that I'm really looking forward to, I would have to say Battletoads, definitely one. Tales of Arise would be the other, and Cyberpunk 2077. Those are the 3 titles that were announced that I am just really excited to see what they're going to be bringing. And honestly, looks like next year's going to be a pretty hard-hitting time for gaming. Most importantly, guys, you guys have been watching Gaming with Spoons. Be sure to hit subscribe there for me to keep cut. Latest news reviews, latest gaming news reviews, and much, much more. You guys have been watching Gaming with Spoons, and most importantly, stay happy, be happy, game happy. Spoons is checking out.